Hi everyone. Tonight's video is going to be about measures of center for data. So what that means is finding the mean, the median, and the mode. You should hopefully remember this from elementary school. If you don't, just remember the median is the middle number, the mode is the number that you see most often, and the mean is the average. So it's all the numbers added up and then divided by how many numbers you have, how many data points you have. So for instance, if we're looking at this set of data, 24, 31, 12, 38, 12, and 15, we can find the mean, the median, and the mode. The first thing I'm going to do, and I want you guys to always do this when you're finding your measures of center, is start by putting the numbers in order from least to greatest. So for our data point, our data set, our smallest number is 12. We've got two of those. 15 is next. Then we've got 24, 31, and 38. Okay. So to find the middle number, we're going to start from the outside and kind of work our way in. Okay. So we start by crossing out numbers from the outside and work our way to the inside. Now with a problem like this, we've got two numbers in the middle. So what we'll do is we'll find the average of those two. So we'll add them up, 15 plus 24, and that leaves me with 39. Now 39 divided by 2 is 19 and a half. Okay, and that is 18. There. So 19 and a half is our median. Okay. The mean is the sum of all of the numbers divided by how many numbers we have. Okay. So we need to first add up all these numbers. 12 plus 15 plus 24 plus 31 plus 38. Okay. So take a minute, pause the video, and go ahead and add those up. Alright, when you add those up, you should get 132. And then what we'll do is we'll take 132 and we'll divide that by 6 because there are 6 data points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 goes into 13 2 times. 2 times 6 is 12. 13 minus 12 is 1. Bring down the 2. 6 goes into 12 2 times. So we've got 22 as our answer. Okay. So that means our mean is 22. And lastly, our mode, which is the easiest part, is the most commonly occurring number in our data set, which is 12. There's more 12s in this list than there are of anything else. Alright, in the next problem, it says Michelle's Candles sold the following number of candles over the last 6 days. 25, 48, 25, 33, 57, and 50. So, in order to calculate the mean, the median, and the mode, we're going to first start by putting the numbers in order from the least to the greatest. So that's going to be 25, 25 again, 33, 48, 50, and 57. Now to find the median, we will work our way to the inside, and again we find that we have two numbers in the middle, so we need to add them up. 33 and 48 adds up to 81. 81 divided by 2. Notice 80 divided by 2 is 40, so we're thinking about 40 and a half, and if we check our work, 2 goes into 8 4 times, giving us 8. That's a 1. 2 doesn't go into 1, so we'll put a 0 there. Bring down our 1. Bring down a 0. 2 goes into 10 5 times. So we were indeed correct. It is 40 and a half for our median. Okay. Now our mean is the sum of all the numbers divided by the number of data points that we have. So we have 6 data points here, so we're going to add them all up to get 238, and we're going to divide by 6. Okay, so 6 goes into 23, 3 times, 3 times 6 is 18. That gives us 5. When we bring down that 8, 6 goes into 58 9 times. 9 times 6 is 54. I'm going to put a 0 in there and bring it down. 6 goes into 40 6 times. That gives us 36. There's another 4. We'll bring that down. And again, 6 goes into 40 6 times. And what we see is it's going to repeat over and over. So our mean is 39 point, we can just round it to the nearest tenth and say 39.7. Okay, and the last part, the easiest part, is the mode. That's the most commonly occurring number, which in this case is 25. All right, now for this problem, it's a little bit more complex because we're given 2 different data sets that we're comparing. So to save time, so you guys don't have to sit through it forever, I have given you guys, or I'm going to give you, the mean, the median, and the mode for each of these sets of data. But I do want you guys to pause the video right now and see if you can try on your own, see if you can calculate the mean, the median, and the mode for each of these, and then compare them to my answers and see if you've got them correct, okay? But for the sake of this problem, when you're done pausing the video and trying it yourself, we should find that for Efland, the mean is 48.3. The median is 48. And the mode is 48. Now for Annapolis, the mean is 39.285. The median is 39. And the mode, there are 2 modes in this data set because 38 and 39 both occur twice. So we'll list both of them as the mode. All right, now the problem asks us to compare, or to use the measures of center to compare the weather between these 2 towns. So when we look at Efland's weather and compare it to Annapolis, notice that Efland's weather is consistently about 9 degrees warmer, okay, on average, looking at our measures of center, okay? 48 degrees, okay, when we see that pretty consistently between the mean, the median, and the mode, is about 9 degrees warmer than what we're looking at over here with 39. So we can definitely pretty definitively say that Efland is at least a fair bit warmer than Annapolis. All right, this is the last problem, and it's the trickiest problem. So if it does not make sense to you off the bat, that is okay. But we are going to work through it anyway and see if we can practice it a few times to try to understand it, okay? So we're given a scenario where there's a baseball team that scored the following number of runs in their games this season: 6, 2, 5, 9, 11, 4, 5, 8, 6, 7, and 5. Now they've got 1 more game in the season, and they want to have an average by the end of 6 runs per game. So we want to figure out how many runs they need to score in the final game of their season. So remember, the mean, okay, or the average, means we add up all the data points and we divide by how many that we have, okay? And we end up with an average of, in this case, 6. So what's tricky with this problem is that we're missing one of our data points. We haven't played our last game yet. All right, now what we do normally is we add up all the data points and we divide by how many we have. So if this was all we had, then notice that there are 11 data points. So we would add all of these up and then divide by 11, okay? But that's not what we're doing here because we are still missing one of our data points. But let's write it out as if we were going to do that, okay? So that would mean that we have to add all of these data points up. 6 plus 2 plus 5 plus 9 plus 11 plus 4 plus 5 plus 8 plus 6 plus 7 plus 5. Okay? We'd add all of those up plus some missing number. Okay? And I'm going to put a box there until we're able to figure out what that missing number is. All right, now all of those numbers added up gets divided by how many data points we have. Okay? And if you count this up, that means we've got 12 data points if we include that last game. Now, that all added up and divided by 12 needs to be equal to 6. Okay? Okay, now to understand what we're going to do here, we need to think first about a simpler scenario, okay? If I give you some number divided by 3 is equal to 2. We know that that question mark is representing the number 6 because we know 6 is the only number that when we divide it by 3 we get 2, okay? And you guys know, just off the top of your head, 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. You also know that 2 times 3 is equal to 6, okay? So by working the opposite direction, multiplying by 3, we can figure out what that question mark is. Well, we're going to do the exact same thing in the scenario up top, okay? We've got all those numbers, okay, plus a missing box, and all that's over 12 and equal to 6. So, to help us get rid of that 12 that's on the bottom, okay, we want to multiply it by 6, just like down here we took 3 and multiplied by 2. So let's take our 12 and multiply by the 6. Okay, 12 times 6 is 72. So all of these numbers added up, all of that is equal to 72. Now I could rewrite all of these numbers all over again, or I could make our lives a little bit easier and go ahead and add them up together, okay? So pause the video and go ahead and add up all these numbers in this box up top. What you should get when you're done is 68, okay? So 68 plus our missing number is 72, okay? Now we can test out a few different numbers and see if we can figure out what works. If I add 68 plus 2, for instance, that would give me 70. If I add 68 plus 3, that would give me 71. 68 plus 4, however, is 72, okay? So that missing box, what belongs in that missing box, is 4. In other words, this baseball team would need to score at least 4 runs in their last game if they want to get an average of 6 runs per game. Now, if we look at their runs that they've had so far, they've only had one game where they scored lower than 4 runs, so I think they've got pretty good odds. Okay, so now that you've tried all 4 of these example problems, I want you guys to try the back side. Remember, you can rewatch the video as many times as you need to, and send me an email if you have questions. Thanks, guys.